Olivia, as the submissions editor, you will see manuscripts arriving in all shapes and sizes.
Yeah, yeah.
The good, the bad, and those with great potential.
Yeah, yes. As I've said a couple of times before, I have received literally everything from 6 lines and a couple of chapter headings, which to me is not a manuscript, it's ideas. So I've sent the author away saying, very good ideas, but I'm not writing this for you. I'm not the author, I'm the editor. I've got to have something to edit before I can actually do anything, do much else with it. To a manuscript that's absolutely perfect, polished, everything has been punctuated, phrasing, etc. Most of the stuff, I have to say, actually falls in between, as one would expect. But yes, I think I may be going on to one of the other questions, but I think what's important is something that I've heard you say, Chris, several times, is that to be able to understand, I suppose, why you're writing and who you are writing for, you need to look at the book rather than saying, oh, well, I'm writing this book because I want to give this, to give that. You have to look at it from the outside in and think about how the reader is, almost read and then write and read your book as if you're trying to do it in an objective manner. So as if you're a reader coming in and going, why would I be interested in this book? So it's sort of a different mindset really as to what how you're going to do it.
Yeah, and no, you're absolutely right. And the time to think about this is right at the beginning, because not only do you need to know your purpose and why you're writing the book and what the outcome of the book is going to be for you, and how the book then supports you as not just an author, but as a speaker and as a business person. You've got to have great clarity on what the book needs to do for you. But equally, as you rightly say, Olivia, what the purpose for the reader is going to be. Yeah. And so many authors try and overthink this and try and be too clever. And they will arrive probably on your email first of all with the manuscript, and also with a very clever book title. And the book title is very, very intelligent. And if you manage to get to chapter 76, you'll understand what's the chapter, what the heading actually meant, because it is not obvious. And we have so many very clever book titles submitted, but they don't mean anything unless you've read the book. Yeah, and of course at that point you haven't. Yeah. So understanding what your reader is looking for gives you a clue as to what needs to be on that front cover.
Yeah.
And, I'm a great believer in spelling this out completely unambiguously, so that from a distance, a potential purchaser can look at the cover and get it instantly and know precisely what the book is going to do for them. Yeah. As you rightly say, Olivia, looking from the outside in, not from the inside out. You're so right. And there are 5 elements to a book cover. The first 2 are pretty obvious. The book cover does have to have your name on. And secondly, it's got to have some supportive imagery. It's got to look decent. But the final 3 are critical to get right. And I have to say, Brenda, on your books, that combination of heading, title, and strapline, really spell out what the reader's going to get from the book, why they should buy it.
Yeah. And I'll just get one right now.
I know what you were doing.
Yeah. I've moved it to over there. It's usually on my desk. So here we go.
Let's go across to Brenda. There we go. And here is your book cover for Voices of Courage, shortly to be released to mankind. And
no, Voices of Hope. This is the first one.
This is what I'm looking at is Voices of Courage.
Yes, that's book 1.
Okay, well, that's fine. So let's just look at, if you hold it still for a second. And and the heading at the top is Life's Darkest Hours Are Just Before Dawn. So that's the heading, title, Voices of Courage. And then the strapline, Pivotal Moments, stories to inspire. Now, you would read those three and know precisely what the book is going to do for you. And indeed, it's full of amazing stories from inspirational women who have had a journey that's included a lot of darkness, a lot of challenge, and have come through that. And we learn from their journey those strategies and attitudes which we can use and be inspired by. So it's a great book, and the second one, Voices of Hope, equally so. But the point is that just by looking at the cover, you know exactly what it's going to do for you, what it's going to say on the tin.
Because sorry, Chris, to interrupt, but another point that I know we've made it in other meetings and things is that you have to. There's got to be something that makes your book stand out, because let's face it, I think there is something crazy like 184,000 books published each year. So you've really got to make your book as clear as possible. What you're trying to say to the reader as clear as possible, so they go, yeah, that's for me. Pick it up literally straight away in the pile of 20 or whatever it is on the book table at Waterstones or wherever you might be. That I think is the key.
No, you've got the statistic absolutely right. In the UK, every year, there are around 184,000 books published by the publishers alone. On top of that, there's probably another million that are self-published. On top of that, there's all of the e-books as well, probably another million. So that tells us a number of things. First of all, it tells us that the market out there is vibrant and people are buying books. And in fact, statistics show us that people are buying more books now than ever before, but from different places and in different formats. It's interesting that formats are new formats are coming on board the whole time. We're currently using as a marketing tool a book widget, which is an electronic way of sharing your book, just using a link. And the widget is based on the files carried by the ISBN central database. And it means that you can, in the pre-launch phase of your book, create a widget which looks, on the face of it, similar to the Amazon Look Inside pages. And you can post it on social media, you can send it to a reviewer, and they simply click on the link, it opens the book, and they can scroll through as many or as few pages as you choose to show them. That facility is a fairly recent facility. So, but in the 1930s, when paperback books first came out, everybody threw their hands up in horror and said, well, there's not going to be any more hardback books. Why would there be when we've got paperback? But of course, there are still plenty of hardback books. We're publishing them all the time. And it's a fact that we've not lost any formats, we've gained. And
it's the choice. It's offering people the choice. I think that's the thing.
Yeah, absolutely, Olivia. It's all about giving people more options. And one of the option that not many authors take full advantage of is the audiobooks. The audiobooks are now with 5G and audio streaming being so reliable now. It's easy to hear a book, and to be able to just click and have it live streamed. And we all love having stories told to us. We've grown up listening to stories, so no wonder they're so popular. But it's surprising that few authors take full advantage of that. But we are digressing slightly. But that's not like us at all. We've never done anything not digressed, have we? So we were talking about really understanding the purpose of your reader and what they're going to, what they're looking for, and how the book is going to be very obviously a source of that. But the next really important question is your book a business or is it a hobby? And it's so easy, as I've why have I selected you, Brenda? I don't know. But the fact is, we've all got an attitude of sharing. We all love to share our stuff. We all love to help people. We all love to add value to people. And, you know, it is, and we're all guilty of this. We just love giving things away. But I would urge every author, you know, you can have a wonderful attitude of generosity, but you've still got to put bread on your own table. And people have no idea how long it takes to write a book. You know, I'll never forget the exhaustion in your face as you told me, I've just finished it, you know, and the relief was just clear as a bell. So yeah, you deserve to be rewarded for that, and there are many things that you can give. If you're going to give something, give it strategically, and always get something in return. So what do I mean by that? In your book, the pre-matter pages are really crucial, because the pre-matter pages, which are the pages before the title page, those pre-matter pages are there to help people make the buying decision. So, and it's the last of these that I'm talking about just now, but I'll tell you what the others are just in passing. You open the front page of the book, and the first page should be, this book is for you if, and then some, and there it is. And hold on, let me pick it up. There you go. Thank you, Brenda. I can always rely on you. And so first page, this is for you. And that just reinforces the decision that they've made to pick the book up. The second 2 pages are really reviews about the book. So what other people are saying about the book. And yeah, that's exactly what, well done, on cue. Then people want to know, so who's the author? That's when you tell them about yourself, or in Brenda's case, about the team of authors. There's Brenda's biography and the creator of the book, well done. And so about the author, but the final page, which should be about page 6, is a left-hand page, and the left-hand page is facing your imprint, your title page, and that is here it is. There we go. What does it say? Well, yours is a dedication, which is a perfectly valid thing to have there. However, I would submit, Your Honour, that that is also a great place to have a call to action. And you don't know where people have bought your book from. They could have bought it from any source. But what you know is that for you to develop a relationship with them, you've got to get them into your loop. So this is the point where you would offer them a gift. Now that gift could be a video, it could be a companion volume, a workbook that they could use with the book. But whatever it is, it's got to be downloadable and it's got to be electronic. You cannot offer them a gift that costs you money to deliver, because that defeats the object of the exercise. So that is the page to have that call to action to offer them a knowledge gift, and in return for which you're going to get invite them to join your newsletter, so that you can give them more stuff and develop that relationship. That knowledge gift has got another purpose as well, which is, this is probably not the time to mention it, but I'll do so anyway, because that's what I'm like. And that is that if you've got one or more knowledge gifts that you can give away, you can also use those and give them a value, because they do have a value. For example, you might say a video is worth another $9.99 or something, but you're giving it for free, but it's got a perceived value. That's the key thing. If, for example, just think your book is now published, you've got it on your website, you've got it on Amazon, and it's all over the place. The books that you sell directly from your own website are the ones that make you the most money. So you really want to incentivize people to buy directly from you. And this is one of the other things that your knowledge gift can do. Amazon and every other retailer will discount your book, and because that's what they do. And you want to really encourage the reader to buy directly from you where you make the most money. So offer them that knowledge gift when they buy directly from you. Buy direct from the author, and I will give you this MP3, this MP4, these PDFs worth another 20 quid, but yours free when you buy direct. Yeah. Now, Amazon cannot compete with that. All they can do is discount, which is very boring. If people want your stuff, they want more of your stuff. And if you're giving it to them for free, then you're strategically using that, giving that away and getting something back in return. And you're getting them into your, you're getting that sale, and also you're getting them into your loop. So everything has to be done strategically, and it's so tempting. You're having a conversation with somebody, you like them, and you want to give them something. In that case, don't give them a book, give them a card, and on that card is a special code for them to download a freebie, and a code to get them onto your website where there's all of the other calls to action and the opportunity for them to buy stuff as well and get into your loop.
To hook them in, basically, isn't it? To hook them in. Because
Yeah.
one has to remember that your book is your brand. And I know it's a phrase that lots of people use, but it's true. Your book is your brand. So really, to go back to your original question, Chris, about when does one start writing, you really have to have that sort of mindset before you've even written a single word on the paper, because you've got to think about what brand, how you want your brand to come across to people, what you want to do, what it means, what the values are in that brand, all sorts of things. And that really all needs to be done before you've literally written your first word.
Yeah.
Brenda, what do you think?
Yeah, absolutely. As as Chris said, your book is, you're building a business around your book, and businesses, exactly as you said, Olivia, have to be built on values. It's the first thing I do with any person in business that I work with. We look at values and build on that. But many authors would, because maybe they're not thinking of their book as a business until they start talking to publishers and people like us. Yeah. And we open their eyes and their minds, the things that they've got to think about, because they're just so keen to get the story down. Yeah. But if they take the time out and talk with someone and start thinking like that, so it's a bit of a parallel, it's always like a tram line or train tracks. You can't just be doing one thing. You've got to be building that brand and looking at how you're adding value at the same time as the book's going, so, and that brand is being marketed from the word go. Yeah.
In addition to that, you've got to be aware of your business model, and every book should have a call to action, and that's separate from the knowledge gift that I spoke about. The question that you need to ask is, what do I want people to do after they've bought my book?
Yeah.
So what is your business? What is your business? If there's nothing that they can do after they've read your book, then you've got a hobby, you haven't got a business.
Yeah.
So
something like, do they want to ask you to come and speak at their next meeting, or do they want to, they're so involved that, they want to be involved in your next book if it's an anthology, for argument's sake, or things like that, I'm guessing you mean?
Yeah, absolutely. But what else are you selling? Your book is there to support you and your business. Mm. What is your business? Are you a coach? Are you a trainer? Are you doing seminars? Are you doing consultancy? What is it that you do that you want the book to position you as the best person to do?
Yeah.
So So the book is not a standalone item which is self-contained and has got no further purpose. The book, if it's to achieve its potential, has to position you as the go-to person for what your business is supplying. Brenda?
Yeah, absolutely. I would echo all of that, you know, and it's important that you have that clear. The messaging is so important to get clear. And sometimes, I think it's been said already, people try to be too clever, whereas when you keep it simple and it's just spaced out, and it's like, for me, I live by the rule of threes, so I would always recommend that you choose 3 outlets, the ones that are most beneficial to you, because if you give people too much, they can't make a choice. And it's a psychological known fact that the human brain loves 3. So you offer 3 of your best and most valued aspects of who you are in your business, and make sure that that's clear. And because you're limiting it to 3, it's easier to get clarity around it.
Absolutely. And the underlying message is, before you start thinking about your book, think about what you need the book to do, where you need it to position you, what you want people to do next, who those people are, what they're looking for, what are their outcomes, and get clarity on this. One of the things that I know you do, Brenda, I certainly do myself, is to have a clarity call, so that whilst somebody is just throwing ideas around, to coach them through that process so that they can get clarity on precisely what they need to do, why they need to do it, who it's for, and what the outcomes are. So I think tonight's call is to encourage people to rush slowly, and
Great oxymoron.
Yeah, absolutely. You're calling me a moron. No. So to rush slowly, to get really good clarity, to research, and to look at your marketplace. There's a really good tool that Google provide, which will give you a heads up. If you tell it the subjects that you are particularly interested in, it'll give you a heads up of stories from around the world every morning based on that topic. Now, if every morning you're reading the latest information about your specialist subject, your profession, whatever it is, in a year's time, you are going to be at professor level, because you've fed yourself with the latest information, cutting edge stuff from around the world every morning, and and it's cost you nothing. In drawing on that information, using that information with your in your social media, being a thought leader and leading that conversation, and getting people to react with you and to share their thoughts. Basically, what you're doing is crowdsourcing the content that you need, and you're able then to write the most topical book that is precisely what people need, because you've researched and you know what's cutting edge, and you can add your own magic to it, but you know what people are saying, and you know what they're asking. So all of a sudden you've got everything you need to write the most relevant, topical and profitable book. And all it takes is just that mindset, and giving yourself the time to do it. Any final comments, Olivia?
Well, yes, pulling things together. I've not heard of this Google thing, but it's a fantastic idea. In fact, I'm going to start it tomorrow morning, Chris. But pulling all the strands together and then using the knowledge that you already have, and then building on that. But sorry, Brenda, I interrupted you.
No, carry on, Olivia. You finished?
Well, I was just saying that to go back to these people who sent me the 6 lines, for argument's sake, as their submissions, this is actually really good, gritty, juicy stuff to tell those people to, go away for 6 months, do your research properly, start pulling threads from all the different things and then come back with something more concrete that can then be shaped and worked on, rather than just what's been given, sort of thing.
Sure.
So just backtracking a little, you know, so if we're talking about someone writing a non-fiction book and they're in business and they want to write their book in terms of raising their profile, positioning them as an expert, building on experience, knowledge, to create a philosophy that's their own, then they it gives them a great opportunity to actually go back to the foundation of their business and revisit it, because as you grow, you get so caught up in everything that when you look back, your foundations are rocking because maybe you've not built them so soundly in the first instance. So it makes you, as a someone in business like myself, that you go back and you revisit, and my value's still the same. Is my ideal client the same? Because I certainly know where I started, who I was working with, and who my clients are today. It's different people, because as I evolve and grow, so does my clients. So it's a very good basic exercise to revisit, to do again. Maybe you didn't do it in the beginning because your business started a while ago and you've got into a bit of a rut and you're looking for a new way to inject more life into it and help you grow your business again. So it's very, this conversation tonight is critical, and you can't hear this enough, because it takes 10 times before it goes from your head till you start to embody it. So you do need to hear it over and over.
Yeah, absolutely. And I know you are a very experienced teacher, Brenda. And one thing that I've always, a truism I've always believed is, when you teach something, you're the one that learns the most.
Yes.
That's no reflection on your pupils at all. But one thing I've found is when I started AuthorCraft in 2012, and I started to do workshops, I would pick a topic, I would research it and talk about it at the event. But then everybody else would contribute and share their ideas. And all of a sudden, around the table, we were crowdsourcing content. Fortunately, I had the idea of recording it, so that you know, whatever the topic, we learnt. Everybody there learnt so much more as a result of that experience. So,
Napoleon Hill, he calls that masterminding, and that's very much how he took 20 years talking about research. He took 20 years before he wrote the book Think and Grow Rich, because he researched success and all these rich people from all over the world, so that he could be super clear on what were the things that all these people had in common, what set them apart from the rest of us who might be struggling to get into that sort of league, you know. And so therefore what we're saying about the research and everything else is so true.
Brenda and Olivia, thank you both so much for being a part of our call tonight. And if this is the first time you're joining our AuthorCraft Academy event, we do hope that you will join the Academy. And if you go to authorcraft.co.uk, everything you want to know but are afraid to ask will be there, including details of our monthly events that we hold at the Institute of Directors in Pall Mall, and they are held on the 4th Tuesday, which is not always the last Tuesday, but it's the 4th Tuesday of every month except August and December. So you can always find us there. You'll always be able to participate. You don't have to be a member to come to our AuthorCraft events. The door charge is £15 to help us cover the cost of the room, and there's a cash bar, and the place is full of amazing people who are all there to share and to learn. So come and be a part of that experience. But if you want to systematically learn about the different processes and find out how to get published, where to get published, how to market your book, the different ways of writing your book, speaking to editors and writing coaches. All of that is part of the AuthorCraft Academy. There's a subscription of £10 a month, and every week you'll get another module from the Academy. And I'm delighted to say that Olivia is our course director, and she will be in touch during the course to help and support you. So everything you need to know is on authorcraft.co.uk. But for now, thank you for being a part of the call tonight, and I wish you goodbye.